This video is going to have some more advanced tips for blueprints for people who are slightly further into the game than just beginners. So of course there are going to be room spoilers and room combo spoilers as well, but nothing story based or anything like that, so you're in no danger of finding out what the ending is or anything at all. So come on in, watch and go, oh, I didn't know that. Now this room, the workshop, is incredibly handy. You can see here it's been drafted by me 5 times. It's a pretty common place to get it. Now what's great about the workshop is that you can combine different objects or tools to create a third one, okay? So I'm not going to give you any spoilers to perhaps any secrets that are around the place, but I do want to tell you about one particular tool that you should be looking to create here in the workshop, because it's going to give you loads more gems, loads more coins, and loads more keys as well, which is the thing that we always end up needing, particularly when your runs go on a bit longer. This device is fantastic to pick up if you can get it, but you've got to be able to build it as well. Now you build it in the workshop room, and the workshop you combine 3 items to make the jackhammer. So you need a battery pack, you need the broken lever, and you need the shovel, okay, to do all 3. Then once you can combine them, then you'll get yourself a jackhammer. And what the jackhammer does is when you get dig spots like you can see here, these will then give you more goodies, okay? So let's go in here. Let's diggity dig. There we go. Ivory dice. I've never had that before. Well, I did. Well, since I've had the jackhammer, I have. So that's excellent. Let's try this one here. Look, goodies, gems. How many gems did it give me? It gave me 3 gems. That is totally excellent. Let's buy some more. There we are, ivory dice again, so you can see the kind of stuff that you get from it is pretty damn cool. And then this room, the foundation room, this also has dig spots in it, but what I've got here as well is I've got the root cellar, look, which I built straight off because I knew I could collect my jackhammer from the coat check, because I checked it into the coat check, you see, so I could use it on a different day. Now the root cellar, an underground store of jarred vegetables and fruits, la 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 la. Rooms in your house are more likely to contain dig spots, which is excellent. So the foundation here has got lots of dig spots as well, so I'm going to go around these here. Trouble is, there's loads of dig spots in the root cellar as well, but I don't have enough steps to get there, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. So let's just dig these out here and see what we get. Look at that, got a gem there, lovely, yes, good. Trouble is I'm not going to be able to use any of this stuff, but never mind, eh? Let's dig in here, see what we get. More dice. Look how great that is for redrawing your rooms. They're invaluable because I very rarely use them. Keys! I got some keys. How many did I get there? Oh my god, I got 3 keys. You can see how excellent this is. I would heartily recommend you getting a jackhammer. But of course, you need to build yourself a workshop as well. Let's go to this. Oh, I've already done that one, poor girl. Never mind. Now, if you do manage to create one of the jackhammers and you've put it in a coat check and you've pulled it back out again, let's see if we can put it back into the coat check to use it for another day, because that would become very useful. So I'm standing outside the coat check, look right at the top here. But hell of a run doing this as well. This has been my best run ever. But anyway, let's go and see if we can check an item in today. Let's see. Sledgehammer, yeah, we can. There it is. There we go. So I'm going to check this in for another day because it's done so well for me today, and I don't think I'm going to do much more with it. So I'm going to check my jackhammer in, and then you can pick it up on another day again. That's a really handy little tip for the coat check. It's incredibly useful. Now this is another way to save keys. Now I have talked about this in my last video, but I don't think I did it justice in how useful it is, or my description wasn't that good. So let me explain. You need to build 2 kinds of rooms, okay? The first you need to build is this one. This is the security room, okay? And then the second one you need to buy is this one, which is the utility closet, okay? Now the utility closet has a breaker box in, and the breaker box has lots of puzzle elements to it. I'm not going to give any of those away, but I want to show you how you can use the utility closet and the security room in order to save keys on your doors. So how it works, first of all, is you've got to come to the computer system here, okay? Now you do need to well, actually you don't do this, you just need to go to the key card system. Now the first thing you need to do, you've got 2 options. You've got the key card system settings, and you need to go into there. And then you've got the choice of, you could set the security level or change the offline mode. Now we need to go and do both. So you want to set the security level first. Now what this means is, the lower this level is, the less key card doors that show up. You know how much of a pain key card doors can be, because I find key cards quite hard to come by because normal keys are far more common. But if you set this to high, okay, and then confirm that setting like that. So now, as you go further up the house, you're going to have a higher instance. I think it's like 6 or 7 times more, or at least 6 or 7 doors will be keycard doors. Now, we've also got something there called offline mode, okay? So we're going to change to offline mode. What this means is that how the doors will default when there's no power to them. So at the moment, if there's no power to the door, they'll default to being locked, okay? So they'll all be locked if you switch the power off to the doors. But if we change it to unlocked and confirm that setting, okay? So what we can do now is go to our utility closet. Not your utility room with the breaker box in, so let's just meander over there. So here we go, coming back to the breaker box. We go in here. Now you've got the keycard entry system there. We turn that off, so that's stopping the power going to all the keycard systems. And because of what we did in the security room, when it says that there's no power to the keycard doors, that means they're all going to automatically unlock. And if you make it that there's a higher instance of them by putting the security level to high, you're going to have more keycard doors that are by default unlocked, and therefore you're going to be able to save a lot more in keys. So that's very, very handy and useful. Keep that in mind. I didn't explain that quite well the last time. And one other thing, when you are in the menu here, if you haven't built the breaker room yet, or the breaker box room yet, because you don't know when you're going to be able to get it, it might not turn up in the RNG, do you know what I mean, for a little while. So make sure you don't turn it on high until you've got the breaker room as well, okay? Because at the moment, my keycard system settings, they're set to security level high. Look, let me go back in there. It says the security level determines the amount of keycard security doors. You should expect to see 1 or 2 security doors with a low setting, or 5 or 6 with a high setting. So you want to make sure, if you haven't got the breaker box built, that that's on low. If you do build this room first, because then you're going to have a lower instance of the doors until you build a utility room with a breaker box in it, and then switch them off and then come in here and set it to high. Because the last thing you want to do is have a high instance of doors that you can't open anyway because you haven't got any key cards. Do you see what I'm saying? So make sure you've got both rooms built before you stick this on high. Now, if you're having trouble getting hold of some of the tools that you want, there are ways to influence what tools will appear, particularly in shops and things like the commissary, okay? So in order to do this, you can come to any computer system. I'm in the one in the security booth here. You want to log into the network there. Now, the password for this you should have by now. It's quite easy to find. You need a magnifying glass to find it. But as I'm showing you these tips, I'll just show you what the password is. So look away now if you don't want to see the password. There it is, all lovely and jubbly. And there we go. We'll pop in and submit there. Then you want to go into the staff services. And then you've got special orders. Now, if you go into special orders, these are things that can be purchased in the commissary. If you would like to get a specific brand of gum or your favourite fruit, special orders can take 1 to 3 days. So you don't know exactly how often it's going to be within the next 3 days. Whatever you place a special order for will be there, look. So you can pick the brass compass. That's very, very useful because it makes more north-facing doors appear, which can be very useful when you build. Magnifying glass, of course, is the magnifying glass, which is excellent. Metal detector, which detects coins and things nearby, which is very, very good. Running shoes, what these do is they'll occasionally save you steps when you're entering a room, so they're quite handy. The shovel, of course, is what you use for digging up holes and to create the jackhammer. The sleeping mask, they're very useful. Every time you enter a bedroom, you get 5 extra steps, or the first time you enter a bedroom. And sledgehammer. What I would heartily recommend really is probably the shovel, because that's going to directly allow you to get extra keys and stuff as well, and also give you a better chance of building the jackhammer. So I'm just going to order one of those. There we are. This order is estimated to take 1 to 2 days. Is this okay? Approve order. So what you need to do then, in your next run, on your next day, make sure you build a commissary, and then you'll have a shovel waiting for you there. But you still have to buy it, of course. You need the money to buy it. One of the tools I've picked up is a watering can. I haven't used that one this much, and it's quite rare for it to pop up actually, but it's quite useful for the gem stakes, because it says the first time you went each green room, use the water droppers to gain 1 gem. So we've got 3 watering capacity on this. So just remember, every time you go into a green room, water it, and you should be able to get a gem for it. So this is worth 3 extra gems, which is pretty useful. The library and blueprints is an absolute treasure trove of knowledge, because when you draft this baby, you can see I've drafted one here, you're going to find find a book on the table. Now you can order a different kind of book each time for the next time that you create the library. Now the last time I was here, I ordered this book. Okay, it's the Drafting Strategies book. Oh my god, this has got so much stuff in it that you're going to find incredibly useful. Believe me, it's well worth ordering it and having a read through it. This page is fantastic. It's giving you top drafting combos of rooms, because I kind of alighted on that when I was speaking about the security room and the breaker room. But let's have a look at these combinations that they've got us here. It says here, for instance, if you draft the cloister, so that's one there, before the terrace, you will be down 3 gems, because the cloister costs 3 gems to build. But if you draft them in the reverse order, the cloister would be free, because the terrace means green rooms do not cost diamonds to draft or gems to draft. Intriguing. Let's have a quick look at some of the others. A foyer drafted before the Great Hall would mean that all of its many doors would be unlocked. That's so useful. The Great Hall sucks all my keys. I hate it. And the Great Hall does have some very valuable things in it. Drafting the bunk room after the nursery room will give you 10 extra steps, because it counts as 2 separate bedroom triggers. That's handy, yeah. So there's 2 bedrooms in the bunk room, and they're 5 steps per. Right, okay, that's cool. And then we got the office. You won't have to backtrack constantly to collect your office gold spread from office if you draft a conference room. Now the reason being is that the office will spread gold around the house. That's what those spreading rooms mean. They'll give you more gold, or they'll give you more gems. It says which one is which. But the conference room, whenever items would be spread through the house, they're gathered in the conference room instead. So if you build a conference room and then build spreading rooms, then everything that is spread will go to the conference room, so you don't have to waste your steps running around to find them. That's really useful. And of course, I was talking about the workshop earlier and building the jackhammer. Well, the attic there has got 8 items in it there, look, and it says the more items you have, the greater chances of being able to create a contraption in the workshop. So you've got the attic, and you've got 2 in the bedroom, but you've also got 4 in another room as well, as like a closet of some description. So it's worth keeping an eye on those as well. Very good, excellent, handy. So these are getting a bit more advanced here now, so if you don't want to see these, then skip ahead. But like I've talked about the utility closet, because you can turn the power off to the garage door, the lights on in the dark room, and the gymnasium turns lights off to prevent step loss. Very useful. But then we've got other ones here. Now I've not done these, but this is interesting. The next time you enter the boudoir, you gain 10 steps, and the next time you walk a walk-in closet, gain 3 gems. So one of the most simple examples here, Lady's Chamber, has synergy with Lady Epson's other 2 rooms, the boudoir and the walk-in closet. Right, the boiler room is a power source. The boiler room connects ducts from room to room to run steam power to specific destinations in the house. So it's the laboratory, the garage, the laundry room, the furnace, and the pump room. So we know they're all connected to puzzles in all of those rooms. If you find, for example, you don't know how to complete a puzzle that's in the laboratory, then you need power from the boiler room. So you need a boiler room with each of those rooms in order for them to work. I don't know what they are. That's really cool to know. And then we've got the pump room. Speaking of the pump room, this room controls the water level throughout the rooms in the estate and can interact directly with the pool, the aquarium, the greenhouse, and the kitchen, and several other features located outside the house. Was a bit mysterious there. So you can see that these rooms are vitally important to build as you're getting on in days. Like I'm on day 28, 29, so I'm going to start building these a lot more often and seeing what happens with the puzzles that they connect to and that they produce. This is very useful, yes. And we've also got some final tips and tricks as well in this book. So in the kitchen, you can check which course is being served in the dining room that day. And this will allow you the opportunity to draft specific rooms that will make the meal even more delicious, which will give you more steps, I assume. Besides counting as 2 bedrooms, the bunk room also counts as 2 rooms. So this will increase the amount of steps granted by the master bedroom, right? The amount of gold spread by the tomb, that's one of the rooms you can build outside. And the amount of keys found in the servants' quarters. Very useful, the bunk room is, and it basically multiplies the effects of the master bedroom, the tomb, and the servants' quarters. Each time you solve a puzzle in the billiard room, oh, this is terrible, but I've got knowledge of this. Each time you solve a puzzle in the billiard room or the parlour, the difficulty will increase slightly the next time you draft the room. And I've started to get into minus numbers and squares of numbers on the dartboard at the moment. So be aware of that. Maybe don't build them too often, because all it's going to give you is 2 gems or a key. So maybe don't build them every single time. Do a few days where you don't build them. So if you're in need of keys further on, then you're not going to have a ridiculously difficult puzzle to try and sort out. then just because you didn't find any items in the room when you first explored it doesn't mean that will be the case next time you draft it, because we do get random items spread throughout the rooms. Now, if you've drafted the freezer, which I've only ever done once, but it enters an automated cooldown refreezing cycle, so it can't be drafted for the next 24 hours. You can't draft it the next day. If you are stuck or don't know what to do in a specific room, sometimes it's smart to move on. There are multiple ways to solve many of the challenges you will come across, and there is a very good chance you will find a piece of information down the road which may help. And when in doubt, draft rooms you've never seen before. I've stuck with this strategy because sometimes you just know, or you can't make it, or you haven't got enough steps to do it, or you haven't pulled one of the levers to open the antechamber door. So any spare doorways that you've got, go and draft rooms that you haven't seen, redraw them maybe if you're in the study, or re-roll them if you've got some of the ivory dice, just to get rooms that you've never built before, because you don't know what extra clues and information are going to be in them to help you through the game. So that's a really good strategy. I've been doing that a lot. I'm in the showroom and it says luxury items for sale. So this is a yellow room, it's a shop room. I just wanted to show you this as well, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford some of these things, but they look utterly amazing, right? First of all, you got this. Let's have a look. You walk up to the bracelet. You got the emerald bracelet. You do not have to pay the gem costs of floor plans. 60 coins. Master key opens all normal door locks. 80 coins. The chronograph. While drafting, you may rewind time after drawing new floor plans. You are more likely to draw tomorrow. You're more likely to draw that tomorrow rooms while drafting. That's interesting. I don't really. And then finally, silver spoon, 30 coins. Whenever you gain steps from eating, gain twice that amount of steps. So this is like surely end game stuff, and it's absolutely crazy. But I just wanted to point this out to you because when I first saw it, my jaw hit the floor. Excellent. So there you go, some extra hints and tips there for you. I hope you find them useful on your journey in Blueprints. I've heard the game just kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger. People playing it for 60, 70 hours. So there's so much to work out there. I think we're going to be playing it for a long time to come. Let me know in the comments if you got any cool hints and tips, as we all love to know and have a bit of a read. Thank you so much for watching. I shall speak to you all again very soon. Sausage out.